my cousin's birthday's coming up, so let's bake a cake.
Is anyone else also super indecisive? Because I sure am. I couldn't decide between making a lemon cake or a cheesecake, so I decided to go with both, and I was going for like a lemon cream kind of cake flavor. So I'm going to start off by making the cheesecake since this has to chill in the fridge overnight. This cheesecake is normally made with a graham cracker crust, but since this is going between 2 layers of lemon cake, I'm going to make it without the crust today. I'm also splitting this recipe in half. I think this recipe makes 9 to 10 inch cakes, but I only need a 6 inch, so I'm cutting this in half, and I was honestly hoping this would make 1 cheesecake layer, but I actually had enough to split into 2 6 inch pans, and I'm just going to use both of those in the cake instead of just 1 layer of cheesecake. I guess you could do 1 6 inch cheesecake, but it would just be much thicker than this. Now I'm going to bake them in the water bath and then let this chill in the fridge overnight while I make my lemon cake layers. This is one of my favorite lemon cake recipes. I always start off with grating the lemon zest and then making buttermilk with lemon juice and milk because I think that gives it more lemon flavor. Also, I recently learned the best way to crack eggs is to crack them against each other. Apparently it makes it so that the shell doesn't get in the batter and it just makes for a better crack overall. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like every few years the best method to crack eggs always changes and then it always goes back to a method that was talked about before. This kind of reminds me of like clothing trends. Anyways, similar to the cheesecake recipe, I also had to cut this one in half because I'm making 6 inch cakes, and this recipe calls for 3 eggs and half of that would be 1.5. So for the half egg that I'm going to add, I was thinking I could just take 1 egg and then just mix it up so there's like both egg and yolk in it, and then just like pour half of that into the batter and hoping for the best. Now I'm going to mix together my dry ingredients and also pour in my lemon milk or buttermilk and fold that in as well. And I'm going to divide this between 2 6 inch cake pans that I greased and lined. Then I'm going to let this bake off in the oven for less time than the recipe calls for because these are smaller cakes. But I don't know how long because I do not set baking timers. And then let that fully cool down.
So cheesecake has been cooling in the fridge overnight and it is now set, and I'm so happy that there's no cracks in it, but now we're ready to assemble the cake.
This is my favorite part. Cake decorating is one of my favorite things to do ever. So I'm starting off with a layer of the lemon and then layering the cheesecake on top, another layer of lemon, and another layer of cheesecake on top. And for the frosting, I'm using stabilized whipped cream frosting. I just stabilized it with a little bit of cream cheese. I was going to do a pretty simple design here. I was doing this like scalloped design on the side. Realized that you can't really see this very well, but it was pretty simple and it looked pretty cool, honestly. And for the top, I decided to go pretty simple as well. I just piped on some whipped cream swirls and then added some strawberries and blueberries just for a pop of color and just makes it look like I put more work in than I actually did. And this is what the final cake looks like, and this is a picture of what the cross section looks like as well.